Hello and welcome back to Causing Nebula. So in today's video, I wanted to react to this content creator that goes by the name of Madison Kirtlin. And her content originally popped up for me on Instagram because I only use Instagram, but she is actually more popular on TikTok, and she has 220,000 followers on TikTok, and she only has about 17,000 on Instagram. And based on her TikTok feed, you can see that she makes a big variety of content, it seems. The content for her that popped up for me on Instagram was content about what she eats in a day at her day job. And this woman, she, from what I can see in her videos, she works a sedentary job where she sits at a desk chair all day. And so she records herself eating about every hour and a half to 2 hours, which is entirely too fucking often, right? It's entirely too much fucking food. But I think that the appeal of somebody like this woman is that a lot of people will find her very relatable. And they will find her very relatable because a lot of people have desk jobs. A lot of people are sedentary as hell. A lot of people also sit at work all day long and they just eat every hour, every 2 hours. And this sedentary lifestyle on top of constant snacking is a big reason why so many people in countries like the United States and other developed Western countries are fat as fuck. So in today's video, I wanted to go over some of her what I eat in a day at my 8 to 5 job. So I want to start off by looking at how fat this woman is. If you look at this video, you can see that this woman, she looks to be about maybe 5'5" to 5'8", and she is clearly, as you can see, clearly over 300 pounds. And she probably needs to lose about probably half of her body weight, probably 150 pounds, and her body fat percentage is probably 50%. I think that this is 50%. It might be high 40s to 50, but we can see that this woman is quite morbidly obese. And she is also really pretty. If you look at her face, this woman, another thing that I noticed when I looked at her profile was that she is quite pretty, and she probably would have been outrageously pretty if she had never been twice her fucking body weight. As a person that is losing weight right now, I promise you, you will never be able to convince me anymore to gain any more weight ever again in my entire lifetime. And I say that because I have been losing weight now for a very long time, several years at this point, but I am in the last stretch of weight loss, and losing weight is one of the slowest fucking processes. And I think that people on the internet, for some bizarre reason, are not honest about this part. What you often see is you see a lot of before and afters, right? And so it gives the illusion that losing weight, it just happened like that, right? It happened in this short time span. A person just lost 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, 100 pounds, when in reality, a lot of these before and after pictures are months, if not years apart from each other. And as a person that's going through it right now, I will never gain any more weight because it is not worth having to fucking lose it. You can gain weight so much faster than you can lose it, right? So because we can take in so many calories in a short amount of time, it is easier to gain 2, 3, 4 kilograms than it is to lose 2, 3, 4 kilograms. And it's, in my opinion, it's just not worth it. There exists no food in the world that is so delicious that I ever want to have to go through reducing my body fat again, if that makes any sense. So if you are somebody and you are overweight right now and your diet is shit and you eat junk food and you eat bullshit all day and you want to get healthy, the one thing I would recommend for anybody is don't gain even 1 more fucking pound. Like if your daily intake of calories is 3,500 calories a day, eat 3,500 calories a day, but do fucking not eat 3,600 calories a day, because even 100 grams of fat is not worth gaining because it's going to take you a fucking ton of effort in order to lose it. And I promise you it will not fucking be worth it. But anyway, that is my rant. Let's get into these reactions. So I think that this was the first video of hers that popped up in my feed. I think this video is like really popular on her TikTok, but basically what she ate in a day, as you can see in the background, this woman works in some kind of office job. And in my opinion, she eats an unnecessary amount of food considering that she is very sedentary. And this is a problem that I think a lot of Americans have, or a lot of people in Western countries have. So she got a Dunkin' Donuts latte at the beginning of the day at 8:30 a.m. And I don't know what a Dunkin' latte is, but I assume it has some kind of fucking sugar in it, right? Because she is not this big for no reason, but this coffee is fucking huge. And if you have been watching my channel for enough time, you know that I am an American that lives overseas, and I've been overseas for a very long time. And so in the country that I live in, this size drink is considered a extra large, a super XL drink where I live at right now. But I don't think that she needs to have a coffee this fucking big at 8:30 in the morning. Whenever I drink coffee, I literally make, so I have one of those little Nescafe machines, and so I put the little coffee pot in, and then I just literally drink one shot of espresso with a little bit of milk, and that's it. Because if your coffee needs to have this much milk in it to the point where it's blonde, in my opinion, you don't like coffee, you just like coffee flavored milk, which is fine. But again, she probably doesn't think that this is a bad thing to drink at the beginning of the morning, but in my opinion it is, because this milk is probably like at least 300-400 calories just in fucking milk, and that's if she doesn't have any kind of sugar in there. But we can see why she is as fat as she is. And then she has a sourdough breakfast sandwich that she also is eating alongside this big ass coffee. But these two big ass pieces of bread are probably at least 150 calories each per slice of bread. And then I assume it has some kind of eggs in it, maybe sausage in it, maybe bacon in it. This sandwich is probably like 600, 700, 800 fucking calories. And she's probably eating already at this point, 8:30 in the morning, damn near 1,000 calories, which is why she is as fat as she is. But I do want to say that it looks good. Today I had 3 slices of bread today. And it's right now, as I record this video, it is almost 7 o'clock at night. And so I will just have a protein shake. But today I actually had, for the first time in a very long time, 3 slices of bread. I had one for breakfast, and then I went to the gym, and then I ate lunch. And then usually on the weekend when I go to the gym, I go to the gym at like, I think like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then I stretch, and the stretching takes like 30 minutes because I take my time, right? It's a Saturday, so I take my time. And so I do the treadmill for 1 hour, and then I went to the grocery store, and then I walked back home. And by the time I got home, it was like 4, almost 5 o'clock. And so when I ate lunch, it was almost 5 o'clock. And when I ate breakfast, it was at like, I think like 10 a.m. And so I ate my lunch, and then because I don't want food in my stomach late into the night, I will eat lunch, and then I'll kind of put dinner on top of that. So for dinner, right, quote unquote dinner, I had 2 pieces of buttered toast. And the butter I actually bought recently, little like individually wrapped butters. And so the butter, one little pack of it was only 72 calories. I think the bread is probably like 120 per slice. I went to a bakery, a nice bakery, and I bought it. But I have had enough calories for the day, and I will probably just end the day with a protein shake, and that's it. This woman, in my opinion, is eating way too much fucking food for the job she has. This is the type of food that you eat if you are about to go on like a 20 fucking mile run, and she is not doing that. So we can see a piece of bacon just fell out, and then I can see here on the edge that there's definitely some kind of egg also inside of the sandwich. So the content of the sandwich, bacon, usually one slice, I think is like roughly 60 to 80 calories, and then one egg is usually around 90 calories. So if this sandwich has at least 2 eggs, that's probably like 200 calories an egg, and then it's probably fried in oil, and then the bacon. This sandwich is high as fucking calories, which is why she is as fat as she is. This woman is sitting at a desk eating food like she works at a labor-intensive job. And now she has a burrito bowl that was catered by her company, I think, at 11:30. So she just ate that big-ass sandwich and that fucking coffee, because you know she drank the entire coffee by now, right? It's a few hours later. She just had all of that food 2.5, 3 hours ago, and now she is eating with rice, with meat, with corn, with pico de gallo, with a little bit of lettuce, and with some beans. And you can't tell me that the food in her stomach is digested, because we have all eaten a breakfast sandwich right before. We've all eaten eggs and bread and bacon on a sandwich before, that sandwich probably had enough protein in it to be really satiating, and it's probably not fully digested because protein takes a long time to be digested. So like a lot of fat people, she is eating while she still has fucking food in her goddamn stomach. And I'm not judging her. I'm just saying that this is something that a lot of fat people do. It's something that I used to do a lot, but I don't do it anymore. If you are somebody where you cannot go 4 to 5 to 6, 7 hours in between meals, then you have a food addiction. That is food addiction. That is not just normal hunger cues, because even if you start to feel like a physical hunger from your stomach being empty, it should not be so strong that you feel like you cannot endure it for a little while longer so that you can go home and eat something. But the fact that this woman eats back to back to back while sitting on her ass all day is why she is over 300 pounds. And this is super normalized in the United States, which is why so many Americans are fat.
Yes.
She has grapes, y'all. She has grapes with this food, and grapes are quote unquote healthy, right? I know a lot of weird ass people, they like to say stuff like, be careful with fruit, guys, because you know it's high in sugar. Fruit is high in natural sugar. And I noticed that a lot of fat people, myself included, whenever you call yourself like going on a diet, they like to replace unhealthy ultra processed food with very high sugar fruits like pineapple, or in this case grapes. And grapes are, for 100 grams, I believe like 88 calories, so they are not even that low in calorie per 100 grams. And you can see here she probably has like 300 or 400 grams of fucking grapes, which is why these grapes, even though they are good for you, they have a lot of vitamins and nutrients, and they are unfortunately in this amount calorie dense and therefore not healthy. And so this woman has already eaten probably 2,000 calories by 11:30 a.m. I hate when everybody do that little weird ass tappy tap thing on a cup. Like, y'all are grown ass adults. This woman, she looks like a millennial. I'm a millennial. We are in our 30s, 40s. Why the fuck are y'all all doing shit that y'all see other people do on the internet? Does anybody else find that weird? I find it so strange how easily influenced people are to behave in a certain way according to what other people are doing, right? That little weird ass tappity tap that you see everybody doing on the fucking internet. Guess what? You don't also have to fucking do it. And it always bothers me because people are not aware of themselves. And so individual people, what they always do is they always consider themselves to be very unique, individualistic. They see themselves as being somebody who is like, who thinks for themselves and they're not easily influenced by anybody else. But then you turn around and you prove the exact opposite in your actions and your behaviors and the decisions you make and the things you choose and the way that you think and the way that you speak and the activities you engage in, simply because it is currently popular right now. And that is something that I've never related to even when I was in school, but I find it just especially jarring as a fucking grown-ass adult that grown-ass adults are still this easily influenced by other people on the fucking internet. So after she just ate that meal, which had rice in it, and also grapes, which are sweet, this woman is having a fucking brownie at 12:30 p.m., which is probably not even a full hour later, because when she started to eat her lunch, it was 11:30, and it probably took her about 20-30 minutes to finish it. And so 30 minutes later, she is having a brownie. And I would imagine that the reason she's having a brownie is because she ate too fucking much food. And I noticed something recently is that I don't snack anymore, and I don't need to have a sweet treat anymore. But I noticed that the couple of times where I felt like, oh, I really want something sweet, the couple of times that I felt like that is after I ate something that was extremely filling. So sometimes after I finish work, I will go and get hot pot outside of my job because I can add a bunch of vegetables to it. And even though it's a large amount of food, most of it is stuff like mushrooms, cabbage, bok choy, and stuff like that in it. And I put a little bit of meat in it. But because it's in like a broth, and even though I don't drink the broth because I have high blood pressure due to kidney disease, just having a little bit of the broth alongside the food, it causes my stomach obviously to swell up, right? And so after I eat hot pot, I always feel like, oh, you know, I really want something sweet. And so I started to recognize that whenever my stomach is excessively full, I feel like I need to have something sweet after it. And I wonder if that is a thing or not, because I think that maybe that is like a biological thing, because when you go to restaurants, they will give you carbohydrates to start the meal, and they give you those carbohydrates, bread and butter, because carbohydrates, it increases your appetite. And so what it does is it causes you to overeat at your entree, and then if you overeat at your entree, I would imagine it's probably market research that people who overeat their entrees are also more likely to order a dessert, which is why I don't overeat anymore. But this woman, she ate all of these carbohydrates, and she is not doing anything to burn off these carbohydrates. And that's why I said you don't need to have carbs during the daytime unless you are about to fucking exercise. So she's drinking a diet drink now, and I would imagine, again, this is what happens when you eat sugar or carbs back to back to back to back to back. She started with carbs in the morning, and then she had carbs in her sandwich, and then she had carbs for lunch, and then she had a brownie, and then she had some grapes, and so her blood sugar just keeps going up and then starts to come down, and she has to keep replacing all of the sugar that she drank with more sugar. And even though Diet Coke, I think, is sugar-free, she needs the feeling of something sweet in order to keep up that feeling of maintaining sugar. She has a fucking Nutri-Grain bar. This one about to get on my goddamn nerves. At 3:30 p.m. she is eating a Nutri-Grain bar. For what? Why does she have a Nutri-Grain bar? For what exactly? She has eaten a sandwich with bread on it. Then she ate a taco bowl with rice in it. Then she ate a brownie. And then now she is eating a Nutri-Grain bar. Ma'am, you are not a fucking professional athlete. You don't need this many carbohydrates. This is the amount of carbohydrates a person who is running a fucking half marathon would need in one day. And I'm not saying that in judgment, because I am also a person that's addicted to carbohydrates. I have a predisposition towards being addicted to carbohydrates. But we can see, because she started off her day with that fucking sandwich on that fucking bread, now she needed to, every couple of hours, replace her blood sugar from falling because she started off the day with something that raised her blood sugar. And this is why, this is my personal opinion, you should not eat carbohydrates in the morning if you are overweight and you are not exercising, because you do not need them. I ate carbohydrates this morning because I was going to go to the gym and do the treadmill for 1 hour. That's the reason why I ate them. You should eat your carbohydrates later on in the day for dinner and then go to sleep. That way, when your blood sugar drops again, you will be asleep, and so you will not have to feel like you need to eat again. And then by the time that you wake up in the morning, your blood sugar will become stable again because you will have gone into a deep fast overnight. But we can see the result playing out right now in front of our eyes. What happens when you eat sugar at breakfast? You need to constantly replace it again and again and again and again and again. So that's what she ate in a day. So this woman ate over 2,000 calories in one day while sitting at a desk. And I am 180 centimeters tall, 5'11", and my minimum calorie intake just to sustain normal bodily function is, I think, 1,600 to 1,700 calories a day. If I don't do any kind of exercise, I just do normal walking around and doing stuff, I will burn about 2,000 calories in one day, and that is at 5'11", and I'm in a 99 percentile for female height. This woman is not that tall, and she ate more calories than I could eat being sedentary, and she also ate almost as many calories as I can eat exercising 7 days a fucking week for 2 hours a day. This, we can see, is why this woman is fat as hell. So I wanted to react to this video real quick. So in this video, she had these Dubai chocolate strawberries, and it doesn't look good in my opinion. This does not look good because look how fucking much that is. Like, I'm pretty sure the flavor profile of it is probably really good, but this is how I know I've been outside the United States for a long ass time, because this looks like a whole lot of fucking food to me. Like, this looks like an outrageous amount of food to me. Nobody needs this much food. At most, they should have got 1 cup and then they should have just shared it and got 2 forks. But the fact that they got 2 different fucking cups, this is why Americans are fat as fuck, right? Because in the eyes of an American, this doesn't look outrageous, but as a person that's lived overseas, my perception has changed a lot. And so this looks so fucking crazy.
Hello friends, we are trying Dubai chocolate strawberries from Aiden Cafe in Homewood. Luscious and beautiful.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Okay, ready?
Okay. It's kind of all over me.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Of course it's good. It's strawberries, chocolate, pistachio cream, and then I don't know what this crunchy stuff is that they put in it. I've had Dubai chocolate before, and I do like the texture of this crunchy stuff that they put in it, but of course this fucking flavor profile is delicious. Duh. This is literally designed to be delicious as fuck, which is why you don't need as big of a cup. A serving size of this should be about 1/3 of this cup, maybe 2 or 3 strawberries with a little bit of chocolate and some pistachio cream, and then some of that filler on top of it, and that should be it. But this woman is eating 3 times the serving size. And again, like I said, Americans' perception of serving sizes is so fucking out of order.
So good, bro.
It's a lot of the filling.
Disgusting. So disgusting. This looks excessively decadent, in my opinion. Like, if you eat like the actual Dubai chocolate in the actual form it was designed to be made in, that way that they make the chocolate and the way that they put the filling in, the outside chocolate balances the interior well enough so that it's not too sweet. But again, this just looks like it's just all too fucking much of everything.
For the amount of strawberries in here.
Oh yeah.
And you know she ate the whole goddamn thing, and I wonder how much this thing was. It was probably over $10, at least $10, right? Because strawberries are expensive, they go bad quickly. Plus chocolate is expensive. I would imagine the pistachio cream is expensive, and importing some of this shit was probably expensive, so just probably over $10. And this is for what, right? So this is what I eat in a day in Dublin. And so she is an American, and I don't know why her company went to Dublin, but she went to Dublin, and we can see here that her plate is full of hash browns, a cinnamon roll, pancakes, bacon, and eggs. And then I think that this is like yogurt with some kind of like fruit puree or parfait type thing on the top. She should probably get rid of all of these carbohydrates because, like I said, she is not exercising, so she doesn't need them. And even if she was exercising, she would only need 1. This is a person who is addicted to carbohydrates, because I was addicted to carbohydrates. And most fat people, if you pay attention to the way that fat people eat when they show themselves eating on the internet, they eat a diet high in fucking carbohydrates because they are addictive. Nobody is addicted to eating fucking scrambled eggs. I know that eggs are really high in calories. Bacon is also really high in calories, but you don't see anybody addicted to eating bacon and eggs, right? And there's a reason for that. It's because these two things are extremely satiating and not addictive. But these fuckers here, these are the reason why you cannot not overeat, right? Carbohydrates are a big trigger food for me. Even though my eating disorder is under control now, I know that I can get back to the point where I become addicted to carbohydrates again. So I have to be careful with how many carbs I eat in a day. So I've already eaten, like I said, 3 slices of bread today, and that's enough. I usually will not eat that many pieces of bread, but because the bread is in my refrigerator and I don't want it to go bad, I ate it. But I am going to finish the night with just a protein shake and nothing else because I don't want to slip back into that just addictive fucking behavior. But I wonder how awkward she felt in Dublin. Like, I know that England, the United Kingdom, I know that they are some of the fattest people in Europe, right? Americans are some of the fattest people in developed countries. And I know that England specifically, I think, is the fattest country in Europe. But I wonder how this applies to also Ireland and Wales, etc., etc. Because I would imagine that it's very awkward to be this degree of fat as fuck in Dublin. Like, this woman is keeping the stereotype about Americans alive and fucking well. She looks big as hell sitting in this goddamn chair.
Steve is sleeping in a second.
She didn't need that fucking pastry.
I can probably use a little water. Bacon Oh no, what's in this?
She should have got bacon, eggs, and then yogurt with fruit, and that's it. So right now I weigh 88 kilograms still. So I haven't lost, quote unquote, lost any weight in the last month, but I think that I have because I was on my period last week and my weight went up obviously because I was on my period, and then that water weight came off again. And then in the last week, I have been eating a hot pot that I make at home. And you know, hot pot just in general, the broth is very high in sodium. And even though I don't drink the broth, I do pick the vegetables out of the broth. And I've had it every single day, right? Because when you buy ingredients, you don't just have one meal's worth. I had like 5 days worth of fucking hot pot ingredients. And so I've been eating it for the last week. Because I've been eating it for like the last week, when I came off my period and I lost the water weight from my period, my actual scale weight has been static exactly as much as it was in the beginning of August. So it basically just means I'm eating too many fucking carbohydrates and too much sodium. So in order to see how much I actually weigh from this week, because it's Saturday today, I'm just going back to simple diet, right? Because in my opinion, it's easier to manage my calories when I eat a simple ass diet. So I'm going back to my chicken breast, going back to my fruit, going back to my vegetables, and that's it, right? And then I'll have carbs on the days that I exercise on the treadmill, and otherwise I'm not eating any carbs or any other kind of specialty fucking food, right? Because even though I haven't gained any weight, and even though I've probably lost weight, I feel like it's easier for me to manage being on a diet if I can see the weight being lost. And I feel like currently my diet is kind of obscuring that. But she should have just had bacon, eggs, and yogurt with fruit, because like I said, she doesn't need anything to raise her fucking blood sugar. And even though the fruit has sugar in it, alongside bacon, eggs, and yogurt, the fruit is not sweet enough to overpower all of that protein. And so the sweetness of the fruit, it will be lessened. And I don't mean like the sweetness of the fruit, I mean the effects of the sweetness of the fruit will be lessened greatly because it was eaten with so much protein at the same time. But if she had only eaten those 3 things for breakfast, she would not have eaten a bunch of other bullshit the rest of the day.
Like it's tart.
Yeah, that's because it's probably plain yogurt with no added sugar, and then also the fruit is also plain sugar with no added sugar, which is what it's supposed to fucking taste like.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way, because I like yogurt.
Well, we didn't see her eat it. So now she's drinking a Diet Coke. Again, I don't know if Diet Cokes are 0 calorie or not. Are they just low caffeine, no caffeine? I don't know the difference. I usually drink Coke Zero. So we can see here, what did I say? Because she had carbohydrates at breakfast, what is she eating now? A pistachio gelato, which is full of fucking sugar. Why? Because she had sugar in the morning, and now she woke her eating disorder back up. This is something that I realized, I want to say 3-4 months ago. I realized that I feel fine, right? I'm not thinking about any food. I don't feel hungry. I don't have any food noise. There's nothing wrong with me, right? But I noticed that when I would have my first meal of the day, and sometimes I would have my first meal of the day at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the fucking afternoon, right? I would go to the gym, run errands, clean my house, do all of these things before eating breakfast, and I felt mentally and physically fine. But from the moment I would eat, I would feel like just this fucking voracious hunger, and not physical hunger, right? Because I know that some fat people, they have a problem with not feeling physically full. I don't have that problem. I have a problem with, even if I'm really full, my brain continues to wonder and think about food and think about eating this and think about eating that. And it's always unhealthy food, right? It's not thinking about eating carrots. It's thinking about eating something with fucking sugar in it. And so I didn't understand the reason why, but I did research on it. And the reason why is because when I would wake up my metabolism for the day, I would wake my metabolism up with carbohydrates. And in doing that, what it did was cause my blood sugar to raise, and then my blood sugar would start to fall. The process of my blood sugar raising and then falling is what caused the food noise. And so when I stopped eating carbohydrates, In the morning, guess what happened? The food noise completely fucking disappeared. And because I don't eat carbohydrates nearly as much as I used to eat them, I don't snack anymore in between meals. I used to snack a lot. I don't eat candy nearly as much as I used to eat. I have a few pieces a day when I'm at work, but on the weekend I don't have any candy at all because I don't have any in my house. But I noticed that my food noise dissipated when I stopped introducing carbohydrates too early in the fucking day. So this woman repeats this same cycle over and over and over again. And if you are fat and you look at your diet, you will probably also be guilty of the exact same type of fucking behavior. But the way she takes bites annoys me. Ma'am, guess what? You didn't get this fucking fat by eating this daintily, right? You didn't get this fat eating this daintily. I don't like how fat people feel the need to perform because they all do this, right? I would eat a decent amount of gelato in one scoop, right? You would scoop up a decent amount of gelato when you eat gelato. But this woman is scooping up an abnormally small portion of it to eat. And again, I think it's because she is recording herself and because she is in public.
And there you go.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? She ate sugar and now she ate some more sugar and now blood sugar is falling again and she's replacing her sugar with more fucking sugar by eating this pizza, right? She could have had a chicken breast. I'm pretty sure in England, or this is Dublin, I'm pretty sure in Dublin, they have places where you can go and order a salad with just some fucking lean protein, right? Because I'm pretty sure the fitness craze has hit Ireland as well, but she is eating pizza. And I'm not saying that she can't have pizza. I saw recently on the internet, somebody said that fat people always act like they always have to treat themselves. And that's very true, right? You don't have to constantly treat yourself. This is something that I used to suffer with. I used to feel like I was missing out if I didn't have something. If I didn't eat it right now, I would never get to have it. And it's like, even if this pizza is good, you're American and we have good fucking pizza in America, right? So this pizza is not something that she can't get in the United States of America. So she doesn't need to be fucking eating it because it is contributing to her being fat. But we can see that, again, like I said, she's eating carbs after eating carbs after eating carbs because carbohydrates are the reason why you are fat as fuck. And you don't need to stop eating them. You need to start moderating them and eating a lot more protein and a lot more healthy fat. That bite really pissed me off. All of that effort to take that little bitty ass corner bitch. Really? You mean to tell me that this woman is 320 pounds because she takes tiny bites out of the corner of a piece of pizza? Maybe the pizza's hot, but if the pizza's hot, guess what? You don't have to eat it until it cools down. Like, I don't understand. If it's so hot that you can't bite it, then let it cool down.
Mm-hmm.
The person probably recording her is probably so annoyed. They love showing themselves drinking water. It's hilarious. So now she has some kind of Irish pub dinner, and she has a burger, it looks like, with cheese on it and I assume meat, and then these look like potatoes. This is like some kind of like steak sauce or something like that, and then she has some kind of like roasted carrot. I assume, I don't know for sure, I assume that this is one of those like, what is it, like, I think in England and in Ireland they have like those little like pub buffets. I don't know what they're called, but it's like a little in-house buffet where you can like choose what you want. I don't know if that's one of those things or not, because it seems weird for a restaurant to sell burgers and also potatoes and carrots. But I think she thinks she's being healthy, but you're not being healthy when you get potatoes with bread on a bun. She had enough carbohydrates for the day, way more than she used up, which is why she is so fat. But she, at the end of the day, chose to get a hamburger because, like I said, she needs to replace her decreasing blood sugar with more carbohydrates. Carrots are a vegetable, but carrots are a high starch vegetable. So it's not the same thing as eating something like broccoli or zucchini or something like that, because the reason why people choose carrots is because carrots has a good mouthfeel. Peas are the same, right? Peas and carrots are very high in starch, and they are very high in carbs compared to other vegetables, like, for example, kale or lettuce, which is why fat people often think that they are being a lot healthier by eating potatoes and carrots and peas and shit. But there's a reason why those things are chosen and not, like I said, kale. Because kale, it doesn't have the same mouthfeel that a person addicted to carbohydrates wants. Oh, and by the way, this is a roast beef sandwich, apparently. And she has some, it looks like mayonnaise or some kind of cream sauce here, and then another big sauce here. So again, she is eating over 2,000 calories a day while being sedentary and while being short, right? Average to a little above average in height. Her bites get on my, ooh, they get on my nerves. Oh my God, her bites are so ridiculous. I can't stand how people, they need to perform how they don't really eat that much. The problem with obesity is that you carry your addiction around on your fucking body, right? It's the one thing that you cannot hide. You can hide alcoholism to some degree. You can hide drug addiction to some degree, right? You can hide it, but obesity you cannot hide. And so I don't really get the point of pretending like you don't take big bites of food, you don't swallow quickly, right? You don't get fat by not being able to eat a lot and eat it quickly, right? Most fat people are not slow eaters. They are also not small biters, right? I'm not even a small biter, and I'm not a slow eater either. Even though I don't binge eat anymore, I still eat, in my opinion, decently fast. But I also noticed that recently I take more breaks in between food. Like I used to feel like I had to finish, like I need to eat it. But now I'll be like eating my food and like doing something else and like lay back in my bed and like typing on my phone, and like it'll sometimes take me like 30-40 minutes to eat my food. Not because the food isn't good, it's because it is not that dopamine rush hit of high carb, high sodium, high sugar, high fat. And so I don't feel the need to like anxiety fucking eat it anymore. But I still do eat large bites, and I still eat relatively fast. But she's pretending like she doesn't. Stop it. It was just okay. You see her face like, it was okay. So you saw her put that big ass chunk of potato in her mouth, right? So we just saw her put that big chunk of potato in her mouth. Why is she biting that hamburger in half bites, right? She's performing, like I said. Make it fun. And I also find it funny how she continues to like look around to see if anybody's watching her eat, right? Fat people, they love to glamorize obesity and act like, oh, I love being a plus size woman. I don't really care what anybody thinks of me. But it's like, yeah, y'all behavior in public is the exact opposite though. When Amberlynn Reid goes out to restaurant, like you can see her looking around to check to see if anybody's watching her eat, right? I would imagine that she asked the server to put her in corners where other people are not around so that she can record her video, for one, and then for two, so that nobody sees how much she fucking eats. Like, she is shameless to some degree, but she's not completely shameless. And also fucking beer. Ma'am, you don't burn enough calories in the day to have a fucking beer after eating all of this bullshit. But this woman, as we can see here, she's not active enough to justify eating this much, unfortunately. Right? People are eating like they are professional athletes, even though they are sedentary as fuck. This woman, I guarantee you, probably gets less than 5,000 steps a fucking day. As an American, she probably gets less than 5,000 steps a day. I get in 5,000 steps about today within like 3 hours of being awake. And then when I went to the gym, I had, I think, 3,000 steps. When I left the gym today, I left the gym at 13,000 fucking steps. So in an hour and a half, I did 10,000 steps. And I only had less than 2,000 calories today. So this is the final video I'm going to react to on this woman, because as we can see, you can see why she is as fat as she is. So this is what I ate on my birthday. And I think that she would feel like her birthday is a day to treat herself, but it's just like, you treat yourself every day, right? It's not a treat when you have this type of coffee every day, right? I go to Starbucks like once a month, maybe, right? I go to like a little cafe. There's like a zero sugar cafe near my job, on the way to my job. I go to any cafe, right? All of these cafes, I go to one of them maybe once a month, because I don't really need this bullshit. And she doesn't need this bullshit. But this is not a treat day, because every day is a fucking treat day for her. So the first thing in the morning, what she has is this big ass fucking coffee. And she doesn't tell us specifically what it is. So I assume it's something high in fucking sugar though.
You paid.
It says a venti pecan oat milk latte, 10 a.m. Again, this much oat milk is high in fucking calories. I used to drink oat milk because oat milk is vegan, and also oat milk is a lot smoother on the tongue than regular cow's milk is. So in a latte, oat milk is really good. Especially when they like whip it up and they beat air into it. It's so good. And so I used to get these oat milk lattes at the downstairs from my job. And so I moved jobs, so I don't have access to that coffee shop anymore. So that coffee alone was the reason why I kept fluctuating in 2014 between 90 and 98 kilograms. And then she has pecan venti. So venti means the biggest size. Pecan, I don't know, maybe that's some kind of like syrup flavoring. I don't know. But I guarantee you this fucking drink, because of the oat milk, 100 milliliters of oat milk, I think it's like 100 and something calories. This is probably like 1, 2, maybe 300 milliliters of oat milk. So this is probably like 500 calories just in a fucking drink.
For by living.
And she drinks this on a normal basis, so it's, like I said, not a treat.
For an entire year. Another year.
Of course it tastes good, ma'am.
Would you get the pecan one? I want to try it.
And she got a ham and Swiss croissant again from Starbucks. And I don't know how many calories that is, but it's probably 300 to 500. So first thing in the morning, 800 calories. 2.5 hours later, y'all. 2.5 hours. Ain't no fucking way that the food in her stomach is digested. Even though it was not substantial, she had a pretty decent sized coffee. And then she had that little ham and cheese croissant. And then 2 hours later, she is at fucking Raising Cane's.
It tastes like a marmalade sauce. But
People know where I was.
She pisses me off. Who the fuck bites a little fry in half? Who? Where's that person at? Why is she biting this little bitty ass fucking fry in half? I could understand if it was like a 10-inch fry. You have no choice to bite it in half. But this little ass 2-3 inch fry, the average person will put that shit in their fucking mouth. But she has to bite it in half. Do not tell me that fat people are not embarrassed by the way they fucking look, because they love performing like they're not greedy as fuck when they are greedy, right? And I can at least respect a fat person that's not embarrassed to live in reality in public. But you can see the Texas toast here. We can see the fries here, the cane sauce. I assume this is probably like one of the, 4 tenders, fries, and a Texas toast. What is it called? Like a caniac? I don't know. I haven't been in the United States in a long time, and we don't have a Raising Cane's where I live at. Look at her ripping the Texas toast in pieces and placing a small bite of it in her mouth daintily. It disgusts me.
it's so much better than Zaxby's, the bread.
There was like a post on social media I saw where people were basically hating on Raising Cane's. Like a lot of black people were hating on Raising Cane's because they were like, I don't like Raising Cane's because they don't season the chicken. But that's why I like Raising Cane's. I like Raising Cane's because you can taste the flavor of the chicken. It's like people forgot that food has its own flavor profile before you add seasoning to it, right? Like eggs have a flavor to them before you add any salt, any pepper, any butter, anything, right? And sometimes, personally, I like to experience that flavor, right? Usually when I eat, for example, a hard-boiled egg, I will put like some mustard on it, some salt on it, some pepper on it, and then like a little bit of mayonnaise, a little dollop of mayonnaise on it. And then I'll eat it like that. But eating a hard-boiled egg by itself sometimes is just good, right? I remember once I poached some chicken breast, and I poached it without any seasoning on it because if you've ever poached chicken breast, you know that the seasoning will just float off because you are poaching it in water. So I poached it, and then I don't know why, but like a few mouthfuls of just plain unseasoned chicken. I don't know, it just tasted good, right? Because like I said, food has its own flavor. So that's one thing I do like about Raising Cane's is that you kind of get a chance to have chicken that tastes like chicken, and then you can choose to quote unquote season it by dipping it into cane sauce. But I think it's stupid how Americans, especially black people, smother everything in fucking seasoning. 5 hours later, she goes to a place called Drafts, and if I had to guess based on the background, I assume this is like a sports bar of some kind, but I highly doubt that this woman didn't have anything in between going to Cane's and dinner. I don't believe it. It's her birthday, and this woman is 320, 30, 40 pounds, and she didn't have anything else in the last 5 hours. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. I think she just didn't record it. She probably forgot to record it and probably thought it wasn't a big deal. She is eating Southwest egg rolls, wings, and cheese fries. This woman just had fries 5 hours ago with her Raising Cane's, and she's having fries again for dinner. And this is something that fat people do. I used to do this shit where I would have like pizza for lunch and then pizza for dinner, Burger King for lunch, McDonald's for dinner, KFC for lunch, and fucking order a whole chicken for dinner, right? Just this back-to-back binging on like high reward fucking food, which is why I was almost 300 pounds and which is why I have kidney disease. But yeah, this is an eating disorder. This is disordered behavior. You should be able to have cheese fries, but if you feel like you need to have fries at lunch and then at dinner, you are engaging in binging, right? That is addiction talking, right? Because French fries, we all know, they have such a good mouth feel. It is a high dopamine food because it is deep fried. It is high in carbs, high in fat, and high in salt. And these three things being combined all together in one food makes it a high reward food, which is why people prefer it to just plain old boiled potatoes. Even though, like I said, having a plain food sometimes is really good, and I fucking love plain as boiled potatoes every once in a while. She's so fucking big. Holy shit, look at her stomach. I would assume this woman has to be maybe 5'5" because she seems excessively fat. Like I used to be almost 300 pounds, and she looks like she's about 300, 310, like I said, around the 300, over 300 definitely, in the low to mid 300s, but she looks so wide. So I assume it's because she's so short, but this is an outrageous amount of obesity, and she's just casually eating. And she also has her nails done, which just makes her hands, in my opinion, look fatter, and it makes them look like talons, right? And it draws more attention to how fat her fingers are by comparison. But this woman, she needs to lose 150 fucking pounds, and it's probably gonna take her like 2 or 3 years to do it, right? I would never wish having to lose weight on anybody because it's fucking awful. It sucks. It's terrible. And then a Dirty Shirley, I assume, I know Shirley Temples are, I think, non-alcoholic, so I assume a Dirty Shirley is an alcoholic. And again, she has this big ass fucking cup. Ooh, her bites piss. Ooh, she pisses me off. Look at her. She keeps looking around the room to see if anybody's watching her. But fat people are so confident, right? Look at this fucking cake. Look at this big ass piece of fucking cake. You out of your crazy ass mind. This giant piece of cake at 8:30 p.m. That is at least 4 fucking servings of goddamn cake. I mean, it looks good, but that's a fucking huge ass fucking piece of cake. Holy shit. Like, I get it now when Europeans look at American food and they're like shocked. This is an outrageous amount of fucking cake. You would never see a cake like this being sold where I live at now. You have a lot of cafes here. Cafes even, they would maybe sell this cut into thirds, and you would still share this with at least one other person. You will not see people here sitting down and eating a slice of cake by themselves. Even an average portion size of cake by themselves. You just won't do it. They will always do that kind of shit with a friend so that they don't eat the whole fucking thing. But that's a huge ass piece of fucking cake. Oh, she about to piss me off, y'all. Look at this. Look at this fucking bullshit little corner of fucking cake she taking. Oh, she about to make me mad. Ain't no fucking way you get this fucking fat and you eat that little corner of fucking cake, bitch. Oh, who eats cake like that? Who? 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 Oh, so stupid. Lose weight then, right? If you are so fucking embarrassed about the way you look fucking lose weight? Why do you go through the performance of acting like this in public? Like, I only have like a little mouthful of cake. I don't want to eat it all, guys. Right? I just have a little bit. I've already had enough today. You are 350 pounds. You didn't get that goddamn big by taking small bites of fucking cake.
As good as my dad's chocolate cake.
It says, just kidding. Obviously, we cut it and shared it. And then she eats the rest of the cake with the cake being like off camera. Yeah, at most, she cut this cake, like she cut a third of it off and gave it to somebody else. But she at least has more than half of the fucking cake still on her fucking plate. So knock it off, ma'am.
Shout out to Warren.
And I don't see anybody else eating that cake. So I assume her husband probably doesn't want any. I assume he's smaller than she is. But it looks to me like she's eating this fucking piece of cake by her goddamn self. And she's eating it in a way where she's trying to like pretend like she's not overly focused on it. And I saw this video recently by an alcoholic who is in recovery. And she talks about like how she used to drink when she was an alcoholic. She said that what she used to do was she would drink and then she would look around and watch other people's cups to see how fast other people were drinking, as to not drink too fast, as to not look like an alcoholic. And she would do this constantly whenever she was in like a social drinking situation, because she was trying to hide the fact that she was a drunk. And she didn't want anybody to realize that she could finish a drink in rapid speed. And it feels to me like that's what she is doing right now. And I fucking hate when fat people do this bullshit. So that's it. I'm gonna stop the video here, y'all. But y'all can see this woman is like the poster child for why so many Americans are fat as fuck. Because we can see she has a sedentary desk job. We can see she doesn't exercise, but she is eating as if she is a professional athlete that trains for like 4 fucking 5 hours a day. Even as a person that goes to a gym now, on the weekdays I go to the gym, usually I'm in there for about 2 hours, sometimes a little bit more. Even as a person that clocks about, I think, 25 hours of activity a week on my smartwatch, I can't eat this fucking much food, right? The only people that can eat this much food and not be fat are literally professional athletes. Literally athletes. Regular people cannot eat like this. And we have gotten to the point where we have normalized average sedentary people who sit on their asses all day long, eating like they train for 4 to 5 hours a fucking day. And they don't. I saw this post recently by, I think a Hyrox athlete, and you don't know what Hyrox is. It's like a station exercise where like you have different stations where you have to do different exercises, and they do it like 8 times in a row. And I guess you try to see who can finish the first. I don't know how it works. But anyway, this woman, she's tall. She has a 6-pack. She looks heavy as fuck, right? She's not fat, but she looks like she's over her BMI just because of muscle mass big, right? And this woman trains in like high intensity exercises for hours a fucking day. And she only eats 4,000 fucking calories a day. And this woman here is eating more calories than a woman who trains for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of high intensity exercise a day. And like I said, you cannot ever convince me to go back to this bullshit. A lot of people think that like when you lose weight, like, oh, you'll relapse. Listen, I have been losing weight for over 5 fucking years now. I have been trying and failing to lose weight for the last 15 years now. And finally, I have reached the point where I can consistently maintain a normal fucking eating way, right? Not a diet, a normal fucking eating behavior. Guess what? I don't want to go back. And if that means that I can't eat this food anymore, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't even want to eat this fucking food. But I especially don't want to eat like this because I don't want to develop another physiological dependency on these types of food, because I don't want to get fat again, because like I said, it's taking me a really long time to lose weight, in spite of the fact that I go to the gym 7 days a week, and in spite of the fact that I eat less than 2,000 calories a day. People have this idea that like weight loss is linear and the weight just comes off consistently over time. It does not. As a woman, my hormones fluctuate constantly. Exercise causes stress on the body. Your body holds water. Like, I go weeks without losing weight at all, losing weight on the scale at all, right? And I'm now in the, like I said, last stretches of weight loss. I have like 10 to maybe 15 more kilograms to lose, and that weight is going to come off the slowest. And it's like, I don't give a fuck. I will never for the rest of my life gain weight again. And so I feel sorry for people like this woman, and I feel sorry for people who are still stuck in this bullshit. But if you're listening to this video, get off of this diet today. Like I said, don't even gain another ounce of fucking fat, because it's going to take you 3 times as long to fucking lose that bullshit. And I promise you from experience that it is not worth it. But anyway, this video is almost a goddamn hour long, y'all. So I will see you in the next one.